Hello, welcome back to another exciting episode of Deck Profiles. I'll be your host, Coach, and today we're gonna talk about my updated list, or I'm here to bring you an updated list on D Dragons, because D Dragons, in my book, will forever be a hot deck, because what deck won't be good if you just filter and draw a deck? So, let's get into it. The buddy is still Agonia. He is pretty tight. Like, he filters cards for you just by sacking him off the board to the drop zone. Like, he does it all. Pretty solid. Getting out the way. 2 lost flags makes sense. For consistency purposes, I always want to see it. I always want to have cards that reference grabbing the lost flag. I'm going to know where it is whenever the fuck I need it. 3 Agonia. Agonia's tight. I'm not playing 4 because I feel like it's a little cloggy. But, like, after I, call him once, I don't want to see him again, basically. So, 4 is way too much. 3 is lit. I never really, run into the issue of, having one in hand and then pitching the other copy. Usually it's, they're pretty well, dispersed out throughout the deck and whatnot. 2 copies of Epis. Epis was at 3, bumped him down to 2 to make space for other cards. Just like Agonia, he can only be called once per turn. I didn't like getting his effect off and then see extra copies of him, but he's usually great for always picking up combo pieces like extra Onkoses or any other monster you need just to make sure you don't die so you can go lost. 1 Delore, because he's really good at just keeping that board locked down, because your opponent can't destroy or bounce your monsters anymore, so it makes him annoying to deal with, and he has Soul Guard, so they kind of got fuck with him twice. And if you're lost, he gets a bit more aggressive because he gets the 10k power, double attack and penetrate. So he's nice. At 2, I never really cared for him. At 1, I still don't care for him, but I'll play him if I see him. 1 copy of Drum, the Tempest, because this card is insanely good. He helps keep your life up. If he's left alone for 2-3 turns, he can start swinging for 4 or 5 crit. It gets a little ridiculous. He can swing for numbers. He can give the regular red cards in D Dragons just a bit of a little scare factor, because he can do some numbers on himself and he can attack for who knows how much, maybe 16 on a good day if you keep him that long. But whenever you gain life, he gets an extra soul. You gain a life and you draw a card, so the consistency is always there. You gain a lot of life in this deck. 4 Ankos, because if I'm discarding cards, why not plus off of it? Basically, it just makes sense. Ankos always replace himself. Always, never touches the board, but always in the hand. 2 Decay, because it's a solid card. I was playing him at 3, didn't like it, if I'm gonna be honest. He was too cloggy. I kept drawing extra copies of Decay after already using his skill, and it's what is this card holds no usefulness to me. 2's working out fine. More love is lit. The 10k boost to a lot of these monsters don't really matter, except for Delore. Him going to 13/13 is whatever, but yeah, it helps out. 2 copies of Trap Master Dragon. He's really great. The 2 gauge is not a problem at all to call him. Being able to search any of your set spells out your deck is pretty lit. So Endless Enmity, Lost Stone, and I play fucking Gate of Pardon in here as well. Being able to grab those cards is perfect because he replaces himself. Your hand is always up. There's never a time where you're like, damn, I wish I could draw more cards, or wish I had more cards in my hand, because you always, like, everything replaces itself. He's pretty tight. One disturbed hand because, like, fuck my opponent and fuck them drawing cards. Why would I allow you to, like, gain advantage like that? That's silly of me. Was playing him at 2. Now he's at 1 now because I wanted to make space for other things. And he's not bad enough to take out the. Not to say he's bad, but he's not, like, as prevalent as he once was, because everybody can, like, they don't draw. They just get cards to their hand from, like, searching or, like, filtering. Like, it's ridiculous. So his utility has went down. One Rama, because Rama's the fucking man, you know. He's mini vanity while on the board. He can cherry pick cards that counter speed, so he doesn't need to swing, which makes him slightly better because I don't need to dedicate the attack step to trying to get his effect. Any copies past 1, I feel like Rama just doesn't work out too well. Like, he's a nice one of all the time. You know. 3 copies of Dugain, because Dugain is like the perfect Dimension Dragon, because there's always a Dugain in hand. He's always here to save the day. He's always here to just say, fight me instead. Really good combo card for, like, drawing the nuts. Not playing 4 because I don't like seeing him in my first turn. Like, if I'm not going to be able to play this card to his full potential, I'm not going to main it at 4. 3 Arzeg, he's like my second Dugain. Like, if I could play Dugain at 6 copies, this is the other 3. He does exactly the same purpose that Dugain holds, which is to be fodder for my advantage on my opponent's turn. His ability procs on himself, so this is why he's always good. It's good to have, like, targets for all those, like, destroy D-Dragon cards and shit. 2 copies of Odeon Nexus. Pretty solid. Like, you know, not the greatest thing, because it's a size 0 and I have to pay a gauge for it, and its stats are pretty weak, but being an L-God clone and just slocking off a lane is always, like, is pretty lit, because now you don't have to focus about the center, left, and right. You can only focus on 2 lanes at a time, and if they really care about getting him off the board, then that's their problem, so they're wasting cards for him. Fantastic. He's just the right amount of annoyance that I needed. 2 Mnesia. I think since this came out, I always played it up too. Really like this card. It's probably the best D-Dragon weapon in my eyes. You charging a card, so equipping this painted gauge and tapping it to get the card back replaces itself. It's free. It's free real estate. Being able to draw off of it is lit too. So it just holds so many possibilities. Having Soul Guard is fodder for some cards. Like, it does so much. It started a nice wave. 3D section, because it's once per turn. I'm not playing it at 4, but, you know, being able to counter draw 2 and gain a life is lit. This can proc drum. There's a lot of cards in here that can proc drum as well. You need it. I need to see cards. 3D alteration, because, like, the attack step is too long-winded. Everyone wants to kill you. I don't have time to die. I'm trying to go lost here. 4, too cloggy. Can't play it on my first turn. I don't want to see it. I want to draw cards on my opponent's turn and run into this, you know. Also, because I know it's always probably going to get negated, or at least one of them is, so I usually try to hold 2 of these in. 2D decline, a backup to make sure I don't die. A different type of defense. -2 crit on your opponent's field sometimes can save you a lot of, like, from a lot of dumb shit. Like your opponent probably their attacks that won't be as as swole as they think it is, and it'll become very flaccid and maybe even just pass it over to you. So, I didn't think I would like Drago succeed as much as I thought it was because I was playing it at 1 when I was testing it. Man, when I would run into this card, I would be like, there was never a moment when it let me down, so I bumped it to 2. Prox Drum, you can hit Drum off of this or any of your monsters. Primarily, this is the hit Drum or size ones that I don't need anymore. So like Trapmaster, Disturb Hand, fucking Decay if he already uses the effect, just to keep my life up, my gauge up. And also like I just needed more cards to destroy without having, just destroy monsters so I can proc effects to keep the flow of the game. 2 DM Bringer because why not draw more cards? Being able to like D-draw at the start of your opponent's turn if you hit the D Zenith and you ain't discard this, always lit. More than 2 is weird because I don't like having to dedicate a card for like these type of cards, especially if it's not counter speed, so it doesn't really benefit me. 2 Lost Stone. 2 just for the fact of if I to draw it, and also if I'm like drawing and charging and drawing, I can still search it off of Trapmaster if need be. This card 9 times out of 10 usually gets like smacked off the board because saying you can't nullify D-Dragon effects is always a no-no, or just saying you can't have your effect nullified in general is always a no-no. 2 Endless Enmity. This is the main reason why I'm playing Trapmaster because I always want this card in my hand. I always want it on the board because this fills in the blanks of the deck. So now that I can grab like spells, monsters, items, impacts with this, flawless. Too fucking smooth. Yeah. 1 Lost Stone because when I was editing, there was never a time when I thought about taking Lost Stone out. But when I play the game, there's never a time where I'm like, damn, wish I had a Lost Stone, Like, its purpose gets fulfilled at random moments, so it's like, I guess you pass. 1 Gate of Pardon, because I want to have the ability to, like, put more, like, I want to be able to recycle my Lost Flag if need be. Like, if somehow it goes to a gauge without my own willing, or like if I didn't choose it, I can put it back in the deck and have D Zenith go fetch the bitch because I know it's at the bottom of the deck, so I don't gotta worry about charging it. 1 D Together. Used to play it at 2, but dropped it down to 1. Just like D Together was never a card I would play high numbers of, but like it being at 2 felt weird because you get multiple copies of it and you hand a lot, and it's like I can only play it once, so why would I want this other card? I want something else to do something else. Yeah, but solid, a lot of things can't be destroyed anyway, so like being able to like just cherry pick something if you get it is always beneficial. 1 Dragon Guard. This card is fun. I'm a vouch for this card. If you have it, or if you have a copy laying around, I would say test it because you can do a lot of zany combos with this card, and it's like your opponent's just like, what the fuck? And if they want to negate it, it's like, sure, go ahead, do it. It's not hurting me. It's a really good bait card. Being able to like have whatever monster in the center, and then your opponent like swing on it, you play this, you draw a card, You switch the attack, you draw Dugain, and then you summon Dugain, and they fucking kill Dugain. You like, oh, look at that, free real estate damage negated. It's basically a shield without being a shield. And then 3Ds in it, because you really want to go to your Lost World. You really want to hit the Lost Flag. Like, for real, if I could start with Lost, I would. And this basically says I can do that. But I have to play a little bit of red just to get there. Not a problem. But yeah. That's my updated deck profile for D-Dragons. I've been testing it since like last week. So around like the like 7th and shit. And man, it is there's never been a time where I'm like I've like been like, fuck, I wish I needed more, because it literally just keeps drawing. It's a fun time, really. I hope to get some videos of it and post some of that soon. But yeah, catch you in the next one.